What if kids could learn all about a uniquely American form of music, and they could learn about it in the classroom, and it wouldn't cost the schools a dime? What if?
You got a letter this morning, I ring it red. You say, hurry, hurry, the gal you love is dead.
Blues, to quote the great Son House, is a feeling.
I ring it red.
It's our personal experience. It's our heritage. It's our lineage.
Yeah, hurry, hurry, 'cause that gal you love is dead.
Blues is a feeling, a passion, an emotion.
Let's grab up the suitcase.
Sounds like the blues to me.
Blues is a way to tell a story.
Tell me who's that walking down that lonesome road?
I mean, when you listen to, say, a Charlie Patton blues song from the 1920s, it's like reading a newspaper. You get to hear the name of the sheriff, what Charlie's offense was, how long he was going to do, what they ate in jail.
But I ain't going down this dark road all by myself.
The wonderful thing about blues music is that it tells about real life. Blues music tells the real deal.
Look yonder, look yonder.
And therefore, blues is history, American history. History that isn't always being taught in our schools.
Axe is walking all day long, chips is talking.
Blues music came out of the oppression and disenfranchisement of African Americans.
Oh, Black Betty, bam, lamb, oh, Black Betty, bam, lamb, Black Betty.
Without the slaves, we wouldn't have blues, we wouldn't have jazz, we wouldn't have gospel music as we know it. There would be no R&B. Without all that, there'd be no rock and roll.
And unfortunately, it was a horrible time for my people. But great things came out of that time. And one of those things is called the blues.
In order to pass down the history of the blues, the Colorado Blues Society has developed Blues in the Schools, a program bringing musicians into the classroom to share their musical talents, their knowledge, and their passion for the blues with kids.
I think the Blues in the Schools program, to me, is a very important program because what it does is it exposes kids, in many cases, to their first exposure to live music, let alone the blues.
Today, these Park Hill Elementary students get a visit from Chicago bluesman Billy Branch and his good friend David Booker.
Country western, gospel, disco, hip-hop, rap, all came from the blues. Okay.
The earliest forms of the blues were work songs called field hollers.
Back in slavery time, sometimes just to ease the pain, they sang the early forms of blues. Oh Lord, they got me working way down here.
Who's that going across the road? Who's that going across the road? Ain't nobody but me, Lord. Ain't nobody but me, Lord. Oh, it ain't nobody but me. No, it ain't nobody but me. I got the key.
Learning to appreciate the origin of American music, an appreciation of our culture.
Built out and bound to go.
What's so valuable about having the Blues Society come in, it gives music teachers the opportunity to cover things like slavery, like Martin Luther King, like race relations.
And if you were a slave, how much vacation time did you get?
0.
How about coffee breaks?
None.
Okay. None of that, right? You had a hard life.
When I do my Blues in the Schools program, I don't pull any punches. We talk about slavery. We talk about all those issues that came about as a result of slavery. We talk about, really how the blues evolved out of a very trying and a very hurtful period for a full race of people. And I think it's important that these kids know that.
Boogie woogie.
Michael Hawkeye Herman has taught blues to students in 300 schools.
You know, this is one of the first things I learned, and I still get to do it every day because it makes everybody feel so good.
The reason why I like to do elementary schools the best is because I know that if they would have brought somebody like Lightnin' Hopkins into my 3rd grade class, I would have had a guitar by the time I was in 4th grade instead of having a guitar by the time I was in 7th grade.
In addition to teaching, Hawkeye, like Branch, tours the world, playing concerts and recording music.
So for me, playing the guitar is just like talking.
They get an opportunity to see somebody do something as a profession up close. And if you only affect one child, if one child says, wow, I'd like to do that, then it makes a difference.
Now everybody play the G.
School budgets for the arts are declining, and without private funding, blues musicians might never come to Timnath Elementary.
It's a gift. We do not have the funding. There's no way we could bring him in. That's something we don't get very often, and it makes a big impression on these kids. Hawkeye was talking about how he didn't have that when he was little, and he's hoping to spread that education to these kids, and that's exactly how he's doing it one-on-one with them.
It lets us know there is hope to be able to play an instrument for a long time and make it as your profession.
He just seems like a really great guy, and it's just a lot of fun.
The blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll. Yes, they did.
When they heard that he was coming again this year, they're like, the blues had a baby guy? They don't always remember his name, but they definitely remember his music.
That's what people used to do when they worked. They would sing as they worked like this. Listen. Gonna jump down, turn around, pick a baby cotton. Gonna jump down, turn around, pick a baby bee. Oh Lord, pick a baby cotton. Oh Lord, pick a baby bee. Gonna jump down, turn around, pick a baby cotton. Jump down, turn around, pick a baby bee.
He lets you become part of the music.
I wonder if you can clap your hands along with your heart.
All of the children love the music. They all love that. They all love that boogie. The minute I start to play it, they all start nodding their heads and tapping their feet and smiling.
The presentations are interesting, fun, engaging, but there's more.
Children who take creative classes in the arts do better in the sciences because they learn creative thinking and they can apply that creative thinking to the sciences.
Time and time again, studies show if you're involved in a school music program, you perform better on the standardized tests, which seems to be the thing in education now.
These Blues in the Schools musicians all have their own stories. Stories of their first exposure to music as children.
I heard blues music on the radio growing up in the Quad Cities on the Mississippi River. Late at night on late night radio listening to New Orleans and Memphis and Del Rio, Texas and Shreveport.
We're singing, hey, hey, the blues is all right. Hey, 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 the blues is all right. Hey.
I've been doing music all my life. My mom says I started singing when I was 2. I've been doing it professionally for a little over 32 years.
I was always drawn to older music, and when I was a kid I listened to like a lot of 50s stuff, Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis, Carl Perkins, that kind of thing, and I never really understood why. So until I heard the blues. So to me it was kind of a musical journey backwards, and when I heard the blues it was like it made sense because that's where that stuff came from.
Actually, I was very fortunate. I grew up on the east side of Pueblo, and there was a radio station there called K-Pi. And K-Pi was a very unique station. And they played this wonderful mix of music. They would play, for instance, Ranchero. Then they would play Wilson Pickett, or B.B. King, or Muddy Waters. And so from a very early age, my little tiny transistor radio, I was listening to this great music that really touched my soul.
Music that touches the soul.
I cried, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy on me.
Through Blues in the Schools, these artists touched the souls of young people, passing down the blues to the next generation of storytellers.
We have to pass it back down. It's our responsibility because the torch has been passed to us.
Now, this is an American form of music. It's truly American. What could be more important than bringing blues to the schools?
It's wonderful to see young kids picking up on it. I was a young kid once, and now what I realize is that there are lots of new youngsters that are going to be carrying this on after I'm gone. So that's why I have a passion for this, because I want to make sure that the blues goes on forever.
This evening, blow your horn. All right.
It's been said for heights and depths no words can reach, that music is the soul's own speech. And people have said the same thing about the blues for years, and that is that blues is a feeling. That makes it something that's very special, that touches people, especially kids. And that makes it something that is worth treasuring. It makes it something that is worth nurturing. It makes it something that is worth preserving. The blues. For the Colorado Blues Society, I'm Mike Landis.
You got me up, you got me down, you got me up, down, down, up. Any way you want it, let it roll. Yeah, 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 yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, what you want me to do. You got me north, you got me south, you got me north, south, east, west. Any way you want it, let it roll. Yeah, 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 yeah. You got me doing what you want me, baby, baby, what you want me to do.